Good morning. This is Bobby Dupre with the Bobby Dupre Show, presented to you each Thursday morning at 7 a.m. and it can be watched on Sunday afternoon at 3 p.m. on the same cable stations, and of course on your computer you can look at it shortly after the program anytime during the day or night, right?
You're right.
Around the world, I might add, on your computer or on your cell phones or your iPads, all those internet devices that are out there today for your convenience and really use. People ask me every now and then, what's Andrew doing when he's doing something with his right hand? Most of the time it's just his right hand and he's looking to the front. I said, well, he's Googling something. And yes, these computers, some people don't like them, but they are very valuable, and we use it in the program here. We store all of our pictures, and
It's PCs that do the archive. I mean, it's every bit of the process. Even this beautiful studio behind us, it wasn't a bunch of carpenters that put it together. It's a computer that generates our nice looking studio.
That's right. The Bobby Dupre Show that you see in right now, as we're talking to you, there is no such sign in the building.
No set, no nice, pretty polished walnut in the back and all that. There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Steve, our technician there.
It shows you what's really back here.
Our director of our programming, he's showing you exactly what's in the back of you. But it's amazing, and we were one of the first in the area to go on what you call it,
virtual.
Live. Well, virtual, but then
live streaming on the internet.
Streaming on the internet. One of the first in the nation or in the world, we said, and nobody's ever corrected us. Either we're too small for them to know about us, or maybe we correct. Hopefully, we were one of the first.
Ahead of the curve.
We were ahead of the curve, and there were some reasons for that. And because of our small size, we were able to do it easier than the big boys. That's what I'm been told, and y'all know what I know about computers is pretty much this. But I have learned to trust them and use them and surround myself with good friends that can use them properly and do use them. Andrew Gitros, by the way, is my sidekick. We have, I think, a good many good things to talk about. And, of course, we want to start off with a couple of our sponsors.
How about JB Sandals? We'll start with one of the oldest businesses here in St. Leonard Parish, 135 years old and still going strong. If you're looking for anything in there from plumbing supplies like your galvanized and black pipe, galvanized fittings, you can find fencing like poultry netting, hardware cloths, welding wire. You can get rope, shovels, rakes, paint, bicycles, barbecue pits, old smokies, pocket knives, and the list goes on and on. Don't forget, gift wrapping is free. That's JB Sandals right here in the heart of Opelousas.
That's right, and right up the street from it a little bit, well, it's actually down the street a little bit, south 2 blocks, you find Bordermillers, another one of our sponsors on the break time, and they're 123 years or something, 121, way up there. 2 businesses that have been in existence 2 blocks apart. Not many, there's a lot of cities that you visit today, they are not that many years old.
Right.
And here they are, 2 businesses still doing well downtown Opelousas.
I was looking through an old newspaper recently, and in the newspaper was a little ad that said, I'm giving organ lessons. Anyone that wants to take organ lessons, it was signed Mr. Bodemuller. That was before the son that went into the business. That was the old man, and he played the organ at St. Landry Church and at the Methodist Church, and he was given organ lessons. And I just thought that was neat. This would have been about probably 40 years before Bodemullers would have opened here. So it's pretty neat history.
Well, you know, I mention it periodically, but Opelousas is the 3rd oldest city in the state of Louisiana, so we're proud of that. And I just want to mention there's an important tax issue for the roads. What's the name? What they call it?
The road home. The
road home. And this is our 3rd opportunity. I call it an opportunity. Maybe if you're against it, you don't call it an. I call it because we are lacking good roads. If we could improve, I went down Prayer House Road yesterday afternoon. I went to see Miss Sue. She's trying to clean up her property and sell it, and I had gone over to offer to do some shredding for. Her husband died maybe a couple of years ago, and they're well known in the horse industry, and Miss Sue really helps the chapel here every Tuesday afternoon. And I just wanted to go do something. Well, when we got there, we found out someone had started the project, so I just backed off, let her, do it with the person. I think maybe she called him Calvin. I'm not sure. But that Prayer House Road has some beautiful properties. There's a Dr. Provost. She's a female gynecologist, I think. And she and her husband, you can't see the house, but the beautiful front gate, and way in the back is the house. They had enough land in depth to where, and had the resources to be able to build a road to get to the house, to get out of the dust. But no matter what kind of condition your car is in, right now it gets dusty, and when it rains it gets muddy. And there's some beautiful, well, that's where, what's the Muller? Stan Muller and
Billy Joe.
And Billy Joe. They live down that road. Steve Hartman built a beautiful horse farm there. They've got some beautiful places, and on a dirt road,
Right.
And there's a little piece, maybe a few hundred yards, when you get off of Highway 10 there in Washington to get onto Prayer House Road. It's got some blacktop, but it needs to be gravel.
You need to turn it back to gravel.
To gravel.
We got an imbalance in the parish. There's some roads where areas have grown up that need asphalt, and there was some places that back 75 years ago they asphalted that didn't need to be asphalted back then, but there was extra money and they did it, and there's no money to maintain it. So.
And anyhow. I'm out of the city limits, so I can vote on it, and I will vote for it. I just want to make myself known, and that's just my personal. I voted for the two previous. Had we, the citizens that could have voted for the millage, the 15 mills tax, which would have hardly affected anybody. Most people have under the $75,000, $7,500 evaluation on that property taxes. Been very little. There would have been 4 big major companies would have paid 80%, well, let's just say 70%, but they were advertising as 80%. We, the users of the roads, would have paid very little, and I was for it. If we'd have done that, the first one that was proposed, and they had a map, and I understand it's basically they're using the same roads and the timing of when the people can expect to have their roads repaired, they would be finished with that project. You realize that that's 11 years ago or something like that, 2 terms and then another 2 years. I don't know. Let's seriously consider it. Most of the people that are going to vote, they're out of the municipalities that have a tax. So the people in the municipalities can't vote for it, and it won't affect them. They're already paying on most of what they buy, 9.75. Outside of the city limits, like myself, if I buy anything outside of the city limits, we pay 7.5 or 5.5 maybe, something like that. It would be brought up to the 2 cents.
It would be the same out of the city as in the city.
Yeah, they're already buying most of their things at the 9 point, and they're not getting any roads for it. So this way they'd get to buy out of town, but they'd also get a big return on their money spent outside the city limits in St. Landry Parish. I don't know. I hope that everybody just gives it a good thought. And you say, well, I have a state road in front of me. But what about your friends? What about the community that are faced with these bad roads that we have? There's nobody bragging about the good condition of our roads.
Or the school buses, or the sheriff's cars.
Well, the sheriff is actively going to these meetings they're holding in the community. So they can't say they're not trying to get the word out. They have a schedule, and if you're interested in attending one of those, do it. And if you have questions, that's a good time to get your questions answered. Bill Fontenot, the president, and I know the district attorney has been attending these. The sheriff has been attending these. Several of the council members are going along and actively supporting in their areas. So anyhow, we have a chance to go forward. If you want to see a town that's growing, a community that's growing, go to Marksville, Louisiana. I mean, it's popping over there. And here we are, we sitting on I-49. We're sitting on a major interstate, and we're not growing like we should. But we can. Let's get together and forget about the politics part of it or who's for it. Well, I can't be because he's for it. Forget about those things. Look at the picture for the community, what you can leave for your grandchildren coming up. Is that enough?
I think so.
Okay, good. Well, I'm...
No, it's good. That's good. You see what you believe.
Well, and I put my money up where I talk. You know what I mean?
You're going to have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have some fat in the farm.
That's right. And I do things for my community. So I'm not just asking you to do something that I'm not doing. I'm doing. Maybe not enough. Maybe God has been so good to me that maybe I need to give more. And I do give in ways that you don't see. I got a nice thank you card from the Mount Carmel Elementary in Abbeville, Louisiana. Miss Miller, Catherine Miller, writes me the nicest thank you notes. I sent them a little check for their school drive that they have every year. And she handwritten. That lady is something else. So I try to do things so that when I ask you to help, I'm with you.
You in it. You're committed.
I'm committed.
You're not the chicken laying the egg. You're the pig that's making the ham. you got some fat in the farm.
Okay, boy, you're getting sharp there.
The chicken's not committed. The pig, he's committed.
Well, anyhow, I guess I got a little.
No, and the other thing is, if the roads could get better, then certainly what it would mean is your property values would go up. What it would also mean is that perhaps other businesses would come in, which would raise the overall tax base, which would put more money in the system that hopefully would fix some of the school issues you see and other issues.
People want to move above I-10.
Because they want to get away from the hurricane.
North of I-10, the hurricanes, and the high millage that they pay over there, high taxes they pay over there, high property values that they pay over there, and home construction, business construction is more expensive over there. So, St. Landry Parish, you have an opportunity. Let's get together and get this. And I didn't talk to any politician. No, I wasn't asked to say what I said just now. Bill Fontenot didn't ask me to say it. Wayne Ordwin didn't ask me to say whatever. I'm not sure how Wayne stands on this. I haven't seen him. This is Bobby Dupre's heart talking.
There you go. How about one more sponsor real fast? Targill Seasoning and Supply. If you're looking for seasoning, if you're looking for cutlery, if you're looking for butcher supplies, kitchen supplies, they've got all that, whether you're a business, a caterer, if you're a guy that just cooks on the weekends, or a lady who's got a nice big kitchen, go by Targill. They can help you with all that and customize seasoning blends, customized packaging to help promote your business or sell seasoning as well. Don't forget about them for cake supplies as well and baking supplies. That's Targill here in Opelousas. And we're going to take a 1-minute break. It's time for that commercial. We'll see you on the other side of one.